Oh,
All
good.
right. And we are live. Everybody who's not muted, well,
If
I got
I could mute,
I got the mutes right here. There we go. All right.
down the text.
We'll start off. This is basically going to be just a open floor, open forum, and I'm gonna just start off by saying success is not a miracle, nor is it a matter of luck. Everything happens for a reason. Good, bad, positive, negative, whatever. When you are absolutely clear about what you want, all that needs to be done is to copy others that have achieved whatever it is you want before you. And you'll eventually get the same results that they have. The same law as the one in the Bible. You reap what you sow. Same thing. You reap what you sow. You know, you plant a garden and you take care of it, it will produce. You know, if it's a vegetable garden, it will produce food to eat. Anyway, with that said, since this is an open forum, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about success or anything like that. I'm going to open up the floor, and we're going to have some open discussion on whatever it is that you guys want to discuss today pertaining to business, of course, pertaining to business or pertaining to achieving success. So the floor is open, and we've got chat messages in here, man. The chat messages are piling up. Ah, lots of echoing. Okay, you fixed it. There we go. There we go. Well, if you guys want to get started, let's kick this thing off. Frank, why don't you go first today, man? Talk to me about what it felt like to get your first placement, to break the ice.
All right. Well, you know, as it has been, I've been struggling a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Sorry, because you were still going, but no voice was coming out of you. You know, struggling personally with my family, but you know, I'm in the swing of it, and you know, it's a small one, but it was great just consistently talking with him, and it's always it was second placement, you know, and they always bring up, you guys are all the same. And I always take a step back and say, no, we're not all the same. We collect 4 to 5 times more than the industry average. And the reason is our approach. You know, we go in the field, and everyone loves that when they take a step back and say, well, you actually go in the field? You don't just send letters and make phone calls? So that's actually, that helps all the time. But he's an excavating company, small excavating company. He's got probably 4 or 5 other ones, but they're all the same situation. Second placement's old, so now I've created a client. Now we can help educate him to get it to us sooner. And there's some other ones that I'm working on too. I discussed them with Rick because that other bad one that I was talking about, I got a hold of her, and she said, no, we chose to just write it off. I was like, what? Why wouldn't 60% of something be better than 100% of nothing? So Rick said go above her, you know, because she's going to her manager, Bloomers, or whatever, because it's a big company in New Hampshire, and it doesn't make any sense to write it off when it doesn't cost them anything to let us try to go after it.
Well, the fact is, if they want to write it off, they can write it off. They can absolutely write it off, and we can go after it after it has been written off. There's absolutely no problem with that. All they have to do, if we collect it, is claim it as new income. That's all. That's how a write-off works.
Right.
So they can write it off. she can still keep doing what she's doing.
But then just send it out. So should I send her an email, or should I try to go above her like Rick thought?
Yeah, go, if she's not giving you any relief, go over her head.
Right.
That's what I would do, you know.
Right. And I may have kicked it, but I don't know if I kicked it. So I'll discuss that with you or someone after how I find it in the system later if I can't find it. I got the name, obviously, and contact information, but
Yep.
I may have kicked it to the kick unit, you know, to see if it was gone.
If you send it to the kick unit, send Susan an email on it.
Okay. All right.
And she'll move it back.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Let's John, how are you coming along, man? You're on mute, John, so you gotta unmute to talk. And there you go, brother. There you go. How are you coming along? Let me know what you're seeing in here, what you think about it, and
well, the only thing I run across so far is that I think I picked a bad state to start in because I've been calling on some clients in Kansas, and I tell you what, I'm getting a heck of a lot of fax machines and no answer.
okay.
And I guess it's some of the smaller trucking companies that I've been hitting up so far. And I've had about 4 of them just flat out tell me they don't have any write-offs. And I'm sitting here debating, you know, whether I should go ahead and ask them that are they the one that's the decision maker, so to speak.
Well, the first thing is to get, of course, to the decision maker. When you're dealing with trucking companies, a lot of these guys are going to be trucking carriers, okay? And what you want to find out is if they have had any brokers that did not pay them, because most of the time when transportation takes place to bring in a product from point A to point B, a lot of times these loads are brokered by a broker, and the broker actually gets paid by the customer who's having the load shipped, and in a lot of cases the broker does not pay the carrier. Now that's how truckers or trucking carriers have debts owed to them when a broker doesn't pay them or when a customer doesn't pay them. But most trucking carriers out there are either going to tell you that, you know, they had a broker that didn't pay them and the broker went out of business, which if it's a broker that went out of business and didn't pay them, we can help them with that, even if the broker went bankrupt. But that's only if it's a broker owing a carrier money. If it's a produce company that owes them money that went belly up, well, we might not be able to help. We'll take a look at it, but probably won't be able to help. How many calls have you made when you started running into no answers and fax numbers?
I would say out of the first 20 to 25 calls, I got 1 answer.
Okay.
And that was the lady that told me she hadn't written anything off in the last year, and in fact, she went on to say that she hadn't written anything off in the last 3 years.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, great.
Okay, but just because they didn't write it off doesn't mean that somebody didn't end up owing them money that did not pay as per whatever their original terms and conditions were. And we don't want to ask them specifically for write-offs. We talk about write-offs in here sometimes, but we want accounts that are delinquent.
Yeah, that was one point Rick brought up yesterday. He seemed to think that I might have a little better success. I asked him, do they just simply have any delinquent accounts over 90 days?
Right, right. And if they have, let's say their terms are net 30 or net 20 or net whatever the hell they are, anybody who has not paid as per those net terms is a delinquent customer. And what we want to do is find out, what do they do when that happens? Now, most of them are going to tell you, you know, they make phone calls, they send letters. Some of them might even tell you, oh, well, if they do that to me, I'll kick their behind. You know, you'll hear all kinds of things that they do. But what happens when it becomes 60 days old or 90 days old? Are they still spinning their wheels trying to get that money in? Are they still doing the same thing, expecting different results?
It's a good question.
I know if I look in my dictionary right here and I look up insanity, one of the definitions is going to say something like doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. Let's see. I'm curious, because I read somewhere that Webster's dictionary defined insanity as doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. Let's see. It does not say that in the dictionary. But it does say extreme folly, senselessness, and foolhardiness.
Well, that makes sense.
But we know if they keep doing the same thing and they expect something different to happen, that, well, they're wasting their time. What do you have in there other than Kansas, or is Kansas all you have?
No, I was just going to go ahead and try to wipe out that state and just move to another one. I hadn't had a whole lot of luck on that. I was hitting pretty hard on a girl late yesterday afternoon at this trucking company. I got it in my notes. And I was just, hitting her, you know, what have you got over 90 days that's delinquent? And I says, you know, what was your write-offs last year? And she went saying that they had one, and I'm like, well, okay, how about letting us collect for it? You know, we do that 3 times faster than the average company, you know. And she says, can you guarantee that? I said, no, there's no guarantees in nothing, but we're sure going to try. We ain't just going to write them letters, you know, and email them and make phone calls. We're going to show up to these guys face to face. And I said, you know, even if we do collect it, you know, it'd be great for you. I said, you know, don't you think your bosses will be happy with some extra money? And she's like, well, I don't know. I said, well, why don't we give it a shot and try? I says, you know, either you guys could have a nice Christmas bonus or maybe one heck of a New Year's Eve party. And she hung up.
Well,
and I was telling Rick about that last night. I says, you know, I guess I just ruffled her feathers. I'm going to let her cool off and hit her back Monday.
Well, I just dropped you some new trucking stuff in there, and a little more local to you than Kansas. So check those out. I dropped about 250 from Alabama in there, and you know, run through them, see how they are, and you know, as you go, we'll keep giving you more stuff.
What do you think? I should stay on Kansas or just move on to somewhere else?
Well,
Right.
take a variety. I'm not sure why there were that many in there that were either a fax machine or a no answer, because the data we use is, it's supposed to be phone verified data. You know, you shouldn't have a lot of disconnects or no answers, but then again, it's probably verified by a machine. You know, that's probably actually done by a computer and not somebody just sitting there picking up the phone and calling to see if the number's good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe it was just a luck of the draw start, you know. Maybe it'll pick up next week and we'll start talking to a lot of people.
Well, that's what it's about. And see, you might want to see what you have in your prospects also, because there's going to be stuff in there also that some people have talked to before, and well, you might be able to come up with some business out of there.
Okay. Well, I'll certainly look into that because I know there's some prospects on there. I just hadn't got to that part yet.
Okay. All right. So, Hank Pavin, what you got going on, man?
Yeah, as far as the calls, I run into the same thing. I'm just looking at my list. In the trucking, there's a fair amount in there. Yeah, where you call them and the number's been disconnected. I just delete it, or it's out of business. I mean, I get a few of those, or where it's just a real. They answer and you can tell it's a home number or something, a real small company. But that's just part of the process. You just got to go through the names, and I've been talking to Rick a good bit, and it's there's techniques, and I'm learning a little bit every day, trying to get my language a little better every day, and just working on developing relationships with people. And I listen to Rick make calls. I mean, a lot of it's you got to build that relationship, and just continue your creative. Find somebody that has a need. They may not have something today, but they have 2 or 3 a year, or what it might be. You just gotta work your prospects, and I'm getting to the point where we start calling some people back and see if they've got something. And so it's like you said, it's not an easy job, but there's a lot of opportunity out there. And it's just a matter of sticking with it and building up your relationships with people and building up your contacts.
That is absolutely right. And a lot of this, when you're in there hammering out phone calls, a lot of it is keeping your head in the right place when you're making the calls. Because man, when I first started doing inside sales, well, my first gig was at a telemarketing company when I was like 15, man, and I made sales, but I really got my rear end handed to me. And back then, I didn't need much money, and I was working for this coupon book company, and I got $10 a sale. So if I sold 6 or 7 of them in a day, well, I made more money than I'd make bagging groceries after school, But it took me a long time to learn to get my head straight. And what I mean by that is when you get in there and start making your calls, when you start to get frustrated, man, get up and walk around for a minute. because one of the things frustration will do is come out in your voice, and everybody you talk to is going to pick up on it. Man, I was talking to a sales guy the other day that's trying to sell me a financing product, and the company he works for, it's a big company, publicly traded, and he sounded so frustrated and unsure of himself on the phone that I thought that he was working for some type of scam company, you know, that's trying to just fish for your bank account information or something, or fish for financial information. That's what I thought he was doing, man. And he's calling me up trying to sell me a product. You know, he's actually trying to give me some money. And I'm like, man, who the hell is this guy? You know, I checked the company out while I was on the phone with him, and I'm like, man, I cannot believe that this is actually a reputable company with the way this guy sounds on the phone. And I told him, I said, man, you need to build your confidence on the phone. That's what I told the sales guy. I said, man, work on your confidence and call me back in a month.
Yeah.
You know, work. And that's what I told him. He didn't take it too well either. He said, I'm confident. I said, man, you don't sound confident. I told him straight up. I said, man, you sound like you're in the toilet. You sound like you're in the toilet taking a bath in your morning turds. That's what you sound like on the phone. I told him, I said, man, go to my YouTube channel and watch some of my videos. Maybe you'll learn something. But that's something I used to run into a lot in my beginnings in sales, man, is I'd get frustrated and flustered, and once I started working at a company around people that were successful, man, they started telling me, and when at my first collection agency job, I was a young guy working around a bunch of hard hitters, man. And man, I was scared to death in the beginning. I knew I was going to learn something, but I didn't know what to expect, man. You know, all these guys were hard hitters and doing really well. And when they'd hear me get frustrated, Mike, go take a walk, man. Go take a walk. Go outside, burn a camel, you know. And that actually works. If you ever drive by a company that has a huge inside sales floor and you see a bunch of people hanging around outside smoking cigarettes, they're not out there smoking because they're lazy. They're out there because they're clearing their mind. Because this is hard work, man. It's not physically taxing, but it's mentally taxing.
It's just a process, and you know, the other thing I run into, it seems like maybe every fifth one on the trucking, a lot of those are regional offices, and they refer you to the parent company, and then those are a little tougher to get through. I'm just adding that list, and you know, something's gonna pop, and it's mining that database and getting the information and building relationships. It's just got to keep stay at it.
That's it, man. That's it. And the fact is, in this, once you really get it down and you get your confidence in it completely built up, and it's a catch-22. To do that, you've got to bring some business in, see it get collected, and see a very happy client to really get the full effect of what we do, how we do it, and all of that. You know, without that, you're just kind of you're selling blind. I mean, I know you guys come in and you see some other people bringing stuff in and us talking about it getting collected, and a lot of times on this stuff, man, we move mountains to get this stuff collected for clients. But when you actually see it and feel it happening for your clients, it gives you a whole new perspective on us as an agency, and it gives you a renewed confidence in selling this service. Edward, what's happening with you, man?
Oh, I'm stuck on my follow-ups. I'm learning how to do my follow-ups. I'm getting that down. I got it cleared out of the way. But the thing is it's taken me, my whole day is just doing follow-ups, and it ends up like 35 calls, 40 calls, and then you know, I don't know. It just kind of dusts me. By the end of my follow-ups, I'm like, I don't know. I end my day at the follow-ups. It's usually takes me about 4.5 hours, but I think if I would put in 25 more calls, I'd be doing a lot more well. You know, bringing those back up, because one of my follow-ups are just chasing the same people down. And they put me off. They put me off every day. That's why it takes so long, because I'm going through corporate. I'm going through this person, that person, and then, you know, I play phone tag, and then it ends up, well, I need to talk to the controller. Please call me back here next week or whatever. You know, stuff like that. So it's just, I'm trying to get a hold of people, and I never get any set answers from anyone. I just get the runaround.
Okay. What I think you need to learn to do is to get control of your conversations. Okay? And that's not going to keep every one of them from giving you the runaround, but it will keep some of them from giving you the runaround. Also, what you'll need to find out is if they're just blowing you off, because if they're completely blowing you off, you shouldn't be calling, because it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
So on some of those that are giving you the runaround, what you need to do is get to the bottom of it. Get Rick to make some conference calls with you. He'll get in there and he will get in the trenches with you. You know, just like I've done. And what you want to do on that is pick up on some of the things that he's doing and begin to duplicate them. One of the most important things in sales is having the ability to control a conversation. And that control can be exerted simply through asking the right questions and properly engaging somebody and steering them in the right direction. The psychology of it is going to take time to get down, but the fact of the matter is, once you start going in and learning to control a conversation, you're going to see a much higher close ratio than what you're seeing now. Also, on your follow-ups are important. And what I suggest on follow-ups is get warmed up on your cold calls before you start making your follow-ups. You know, get in there, make 40, maybe 50 cold calls, and go right into your prospect follow-up after. Well, you might want to, right after you do that, you might want to get up and walk around for 2 or 3 minutes and then get back on the phone so you don't burn out. But get warmed up and then call your follow-ups and engage them. You know, don't just call them and ask them, hey, you ready to buy yet? Hey, you ready to buy yet? Hey, man, I sent you some information. Did you get a chance to look at it? Because if you ask those questions, the answer will always be no. Very seldomly will you find someone that says, yes, I looked at your information and I'm ready to buy. That's why you want to go in and ask harder questions. Ask questions that will help you control the conversation. And I think that will help you improve your close ratio, because you're bringing some stuff in, but you have the ability to bring more stuff in as you hone your selling style and put a really sharp edge on it. When you call someone back on a follow-up, what is it that you are saying to them?
I just go through my notes, and whatever's in my notes, you know, I say we all such and such person we discussed last week. I have in my notes that we spoke, and you know, we just whatever it says we discussed. I'll go through whatever we discussed, and I am. Have you had time to talk to the controller, or did you talk to the controller, or whatever it is that's in my notes that they needed to do, and then you know, then I start going from there, and I'll answer questions that they have, or whatever, you know, comes out. It's never the same, you know. It depends on what person I'm talking to. Like this one lady, the factoring company lady that I've been trying to set a conference with. This has been going on for a month, and I play phone tag with her like 2 or 3 times a week. And finally, yesterday, she emailed me saying, you know, that it's easier to contact her by email. She's very busy. She don't have any accounts right now that she needs to be reviewed, but I don't think that's true, because her first message was that she would like to make a time to talk to you. She wanted references and stuff like that. So I'm thinking, well, she's just trying to get rid of me, put me off, you know.
That's exactly what she's trying to do. She's not sold. If she's put you in the email category, this is the same thing that if you've ever dated a woman and you waited too long to make your move and she put you in the friend category, this is the exact same thing, except it's in business.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that.
So what do you want to do on that one? And factoring companies always have business. If she's telling you she does not have business, she is lying. Okay, so see if you can get Rick to go in on that one for you in a conference call and see what he does with it.
Okay. Well, the thing is I never get past her gatekeeper. She's got her gatekeeper there, you know, at the gate, and the gatekeeper, okay, I'll go talk to her. At least 2 or 3 times a week, the gatekeeper will go, I'll go talk to her, you know. Excuse me. And then she says, oh, well, she's in a meeting with the client. She's on the phone right now, and this is a very busy time. It's very hard for, you know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Let me leave a message. And
every time is a busy time. Okay, she's running a business. She's always busy. If your call is important enough, she will make time to talk to you. That's why I think maybe a second voice going in, and maybe maybe Rick can find out for you what the problem really is.
Well, she put in her email that she was going to contact me, and that she really wished that I would respect that, what her wishes or whatever. And so I wrote her back saying I would. I'll respect that. Just contact me when an account is available. And that's kind of that was her last. She emailed me this morning saying thank you when I told her that. I'll respect your wishes.
Okay. Well, respect does not get you business. You can respect her wishes. You'll never see an account from her. I think have Rick go in there. Don't if you just had this email happen recently, wait a little while before you send Rick in. But send Rick in on that.
Okay, send him. How long would you say? 2 weeks, a month, or?
Yeah, give her at least a couple of weeks, and send Rick in, and she might get mad, she might not.
I have another one come up. It was the second week I was working, and I thought I got a big account, and I was all excited. And the lady said she had 100 sitting in front of her, and then she said, she was going to talk to her boss about it. And then I called again, and or I emailed the information too. She was going to show to her boss. And her boss emailed me back saying, "Oh, we are a small company. We don't have any accounts. If you keep emailing me, I'll consider it harassment." And the lady on the phone, she had told me she had hundreds of accounts. It was like a harvesting area, and they do. It was like a storage place for farming too. I don't know. They had a lot of commercial accounts because you looked into it, I remember. But I don't know. It's September. She said to call her back in September, and I know that's going to come up. I think I put like the 10th on there or something for her to call back.
Okay, if the owner of the company emailed you and said to stop calling and emailing, you need to do it.
Okay, I think it was the manager.
Okay. Well, it's important for you to pinpoint exactly who it was that told you that, because if you continue to call somebody on a sales call that has said, "Never call me again," you will get a suit. So don't do that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, they've
I'll look
indicated.
into it before I call. I'll try to find out if it's. I gotta look at the message and see if it says manager or what it says.
No, don't worry about it. Put in the notes. Do not call. Matter of fact, put it in. Change the prospect name to "do not call."
Okay.
Okay.
And put it in the archive.
Yeah. Send it to the kick unit.
Okay. Now I'm having trouble with the kick unit too. How does that come up again? Because I always send mine to the archive because I'm not having luck with it.
Okay. You're not supposed to send stuff to the archive. Who told you to archive stuff?
I just thought that was just the easiest way to get it out of my system.
Okay. Well, that's not where you put them. You send them to the kick unit. The kick unit is a review unit that reviews things and redistributes them or deletes them as necessary. The archive is not some place to put stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then on my kick unit, I couldn't get. Does it just come up and say kick this when you push it on? Because I looked, for whatever you're supposed to. All the different things that it'll either say hot, cold, warm, this, that, and then it doesn't kick. It doesn't have, kick this one.
No, it's not. That's not where it's at. It's under sales associate, and this is information that should have been going over with you a long time ago. Anyway, the kick unit is when you're in additional info on a prospect under sales personnel. There's going to be one that says kick unit. Change the sales personnel to kick unit and click save or save and exit, and it will be going out of your unit.
Okay.
And we also have a video, a couple of videos on our YouTube channel about our CRM system. So it may be useful to you to take a look at them. It'll be on the playlist. I think it's called Software Tips. Let me look it up. Let's see. Like when you go to our channel and you go down to playlists, which is right here, playlist. You go to software tips, and it'll bring you to a playlist. You've got a CRM tutorial in here. You've got a couple of them.
Remember when you were a stud?
And of course, you just click skip on the ad when it lets you skip, and you've got a couple of them in there that you can watch, and that will give you a little bit of help in navigating through our system.
Okay, yeah, I remember it wasn't too long ago we had one and you were going through it, and when you went through kick, I kind of missed on where, I don't know if I had looked away and looked back, and you just went quickly on where you were getting the kick, and I thought it was up there where it says hot cold or whatever. I know it was on that side, and then I guess I just didn't notice it in my sales associate part. So that'll be easy. That's the only thing I think I really, the rest of the systems really I have it down except for that kicking or deleting them. From there was just what I was having a problem with. I was sending them to archive. So now I'll take them. I'll go into my archive and I'll send them to the kick unit.
Okay. Yeah, and what you're going to want to do on any of these videos, if you miss something, go back and watch them. That's all you have to do. Is go back and watch them. And you can fast forward through stuff. You can rewind. All of that stuff. So
yeah,
that's why we do these on air. So if you miss something, you go back and you watch it.
Yeah.
All right.
And Mike, I got a question. On the leads, when you delete somebody, do those get recycled?
No.
Okay. Yeah, that's good because sometimes I delete them either if it's a disconnected number, or sometimes there's some duplicates. The company might be in there twice, or if there's divisions or stuff like that. So, or I might even sometimes I'll put what the name is. I'll put business close, or those are never looked at again. I'm going to stop doing that. I would put that in their notes so if somebody looked at it again, they wouldn't waste their time trying to call them. But somebody's deleted, they're out of your database.
Yeah, those when you click delete on a regular lead, it's gone. It's done. So you don't have to write anything on that. Just click delete, and wave bye-bye to it.
Okay. Good.
All right. Questions, comments, concerns, obstacles, anything? All right. Well, if we don't have anything else, man, I'm going to end this thing. And guys, let me know. Let me know if you need anything. Rick's there to help you also. John, I kicked you some leads, some more leads, and I kicked you some more prospects. They're actually already in your unit. I did it while we're sitting here talking. I'm a multitasker. If I'm not doing 2 or 3 things at a time, man, I get bored.
Mike.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, well, good deal.
Mike.
Yeah. What you got?
Okay. Last night I stayed up late. I was going through the college career development classes or websites. With that, what I was talking to you about, and I filled one out that goes to all the colleges. It fills out like a job thing.
Let's talk about this. Not on the hang on.
Okay. I was waiting until the end. I wasn't sure, and then I thought, well, I don't know. Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, and just give me a call. Give me about 15 minutes after we get off of here, and we can discuss whatever you need to discuss on that. Give me about 15 minutes, and I'll have my phone turned back on by then and ready to rock and roll.
Sounds good.
Right.
I wasn't sure because that really didn't have to do with anything that we're. So
Okay.
glad you stopped me from saying any more.
Well, it's not that we there's more people than just you and me on here, and
Yeah, it was just had.
we want it to be useful to everybody, and that's all, man. It's nothing personal.
Yeah.
Anything else, gentlemen?
Good.
All right. Well, let's rock and roll. Let's find some money.
Good deal.
Find some accounts and collect some money.
That's the name of the game.
All right, gentlemen. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a fantastic weekend.
All right, you too, Mike.
Get it.
All right.